Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Class Maggie, who is going to be the next promo character coming to RTS. And as you can see visually on the right hand side, she does look kind of grungy. She's kind of like worn, torn and ready for war basically. You can see some added little bonuses on there. You can see the spray paint on her leg. That's pretty interesting. You can see the heart locket around her neck, could play into her storyline in the comics. But it is Maggie as we know her. She is an alert character, obviously holding that pistol. It is a default pistol, so we'll get into that a little bit later, but it doesn't look like she's going to have an attached weapon this time around. She is bandaged up quite a bit, and she is bleeding on her arm, so this is interesting, but she looks kind of cool. But like I said, she's kind of ragged. Every character's like, damn, this is the apocalypse. Someone needs to get into like making clothes in the apocalypse, because everyone's wearing the same clothes that they were wearing, or clothes that are around when it all kicked off, and yeah, they're not really survive very well. I keep on surviving clothes. But yeah, we see Maggie on the left hand side. She is the avatar, of course. It's just what we would normally see for Maggie. She has got a cat collar on, effectively. Meow. We didn't see that, I don't think, on Magna, who was actually the S-Class for Halloween, and she had the cat ears, so well, maybe we did, and I just can't remember. The ears were very distracting. We'll look at her stats, though, as a S-Class character with 30 veteran rings. She has got 1,279 attack, 5,337 defense, and 5,251 HP. It is worth noting she has got exactly the same stat balance as S-Class Trader, and S-Class Trader's stat balance was one of the most powerful things about him. The amount of high HP and defense you could get him to, very, very dangerous. Now, she is an alert character, of course, as we already know, and she is considered a support character, pretty much like the majority of Maggies we've had in the game. But we'll check out the other parts of her kit, and as we go across the adrenaline rush, it is called Build the Wall, 76 AP cost, up to 5 teammates get 50% defense for 3 turns. While battling on the defense team, one enemy gets 5,000 burn and crosshairs for 1 turn. So obviously 2 parts to this. The 50% defense for 3 turns to 5 teammates basically means that the pistol that alert characters can hold becomes useless, because I'm pretty sure this does not stack with that pistol. It overrides it. However, to get that pistol to hit 50%, you need all characters on your defense team to be alert. You'd also need 2 of those pistols for everybody to get that buff. Otherwise, the one holding it would not receive the buff. This, however, obviously just circumvents that. Straight away just gives everyone 50% defense. It lasts for 3 turns. Generally means, as long as she's got some AP gain on her active, a reasonable amount, that she's going to be able to keep this up 24/7 once she starts rushing, and that will be difficult. The second part is, I think, just to push people to using her on defense team. Again, I'm not really sure why they do this too much, because this isn't too powerful on an attack team. 5,000 burn on turn 3 isn't great, but on a defense team it's pretty good, because you can one-shot some attacking characters, especially ones that are built with percentage damage in mind, because a lot of those stack things like attack, crit, that sort of thing. Whereas if you're dealing with an infection team or a trauma team, which is kind of what we're dealing with right now, heavy defensive stats are used on those characters because they don't need attack a lot of the time. However, it is nice to see the crosshairs coming in for 1 turn, just because if they are taken out with that burn, it should make them get decapped. We will test this out, of course. Okay, so Maggie is going to rush me, and I'm going to defend on everybody except Frost. I'm just going to defend on everybody. Hopefully, she focuses one of Priya or Diego, because they have got less than 4,000 HP. I just want to see if they actually get decapped by that crosshairs, or if, what order things happen in. It should happen. That's the way it should happen. Also, just an FYI for anyone watching my gameplay, I have had some complaints out of my recent videos where people are saying I'm not using meta defense teams, I'm not trying to build. I don't have huge amounts of time to get these videos out. And a lot of the time, like 99% of the time, I'm just trying to show the character mechanics in the gameplay. Hopefully, I'm hoping a lot of you know how the game works and know how they can be used into teams. This is literally a first look video at the mechanics of how the character works. Hopefully that's going to clear out for you. If you can't handle that, it's probably best you just don't look at the gameplay section and just look at the card section. Or just don't watch the video at all. Whichever makes it, less stressful for you. We're going to defend on these characters and we're going to see what happens. And she's going to hit Diego by the looks of things. Oh no, it's going to be Priya. Okay, is Priya going to get decapped with this? Let's just do a defend all round. She'll get taken out. And she does indeed get decapped. And this is where the issue's going to come in. Because you see these percentage damage dealers, like Priya, she's not going to have over 5,000 HP. I don't even think you could get her, though, without having set and mod bonuses. Because she's only got 3,500 HP base. The best you can get from a mod is 1.2k. And I think they basically put it 5k to take out the majority of percentage damage attack team characters. We can go across the other side as well. And we can see that Maggie has 50% defense, and this buff would go to all of her teammates as well. So honestly, the rush isn't spectacular. It is definitely not going to be doing anything too major when it happens, unless it's coming up against a percentage damage dealer. And well, you saw Priya. She definitely does not have any sort of survivability when she gets hit by that. There are ways to cleanse this, of course. There are a couple of characters that have burn cleanse. Arav is going to be one of those. But I don't think Arav is used that much against the teams that Maggie's going to slot into, which is basically Jesus defense teams. This is not where the majority of her power comes from, however. It is going to be coming from her active. And if we go across to that active and check it out, it is called Elusive and Attack Up. It is actually mislabeled. It is meant to be AP Up, not Attack Up. It has got an initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 3, number of uses 5. This character and up to 2 teammates get elusive for 2 turns and gain 50% AP. Now, this is extremely interesting. The first part is nice, the elusive. I like that. Obviously, it means that characters will not gain AP when someone attacks them or when they attack someone else. So let's say someone has elusive and they do quite a heavy hitting rush for, let's say, 5,000 damage against one of these trauma attack team characters. They'll gain 0 AP. And we are seeing more characters come into the game when it comes to trauma that are going to rely on AP over their actives. The second part is, though, where it gets extremely interesting because 3 characters on turn 2 are going to gain 50% AP. Maggie is the only one that is definite. The other 2 should be 2 characters that have the highest amount of AP on your defense team or your attack team. You could potentially use this on attack team as well. Don't forget, this isn't a defensive active skill. The only part of it that is defensive is on the rush, and I think now that's why they put that in there, is because they want you to primarily use Maggie on a defense team because of her active, but not because of her rush. So we're going to attack her again, and this time she has got a couple of teammates. This is just to show you the 2 other characters that gain the AP and the elusive. If I had a full team of 5, it would randomly go to 2 characters who had the highest AP. Not so random. As an attacking team, you can actually dictate that a little bit. You can focus a character to give them AP so that they have a little bit more AP, and that's where you know Maggie's rush is going to go. So let's say you don't really worry too much about Pete's rush, especially if you've got heal reduction that comes in before it. It's just a couple of Guardian Shields that come up versus, let's say, Jesus's rush. So you can push AP into a character to hope that they get it first. We're just going to defend and defend and defend. Now, what should potentially happen here is Maggie could do her active before the other 2 rush, and they could naturally rush turn 2. Let's see if it happens. She's going to do her active, and are they going to... There we go. This is the potential of this character. It's nuts. It's nuts. She can naturally rush 2 characters turn 2, and if you get someone like Jesus rushed, he would potentially bring back his own rush for the next turn. The extent of how powerful this is crazy. And if you think about it, Maggie has now turned into command to 2 characters naturally on turn 2. But not someone who's just going to get 2 people their commanded rushes turn 2. She's not going to waste an attack on those characters either. They're going to be able to naturally attack turn 3 again and start gaining AP quicker. She also is a command that is going to rush faster. Most commands will command turn 1, potentially command turn 2, but they will not rush turn 3 because they're doing a command in the middle of that. So they will use a defend action and they will not gain AP. Whereas Maggie is going to have her natural rush on turn 3, So she's going to bring that to the table. The downside of this versus an actual command is that she's not going to have any first turn potential when it comes to hitting the commands. But you could have a command in the same team as Maggie. This is where it can be just go absolutely crazy, where you could have Maggie and a command in the same team. However, she wouldn't just be a command with her active. She'd also be a command effectively with a specialist skill that keeps her alive longer. This is where it's going to become special. Her rush is going to be able to come off turn 3. And she's got a specialist skill called Dexterity. If this specialist takes damage, the amount taken is reduced based on their current AP. The more AP the specialist has, the less damage they take. If this character's health is above 20% and they take damage that would take them out, their health will be reduced to 19% instead. This is obviously powerful because it stops you from being one-shot a lot of the time. And I do believe it actually works against trauma. I was testing my Diego attack team on stream and I came up against a Kapoor on a defense team and I wiped everybody, but Kapoor tanked the hit. So I do think this actually stops trauma as well, and we will test it out just to make sure. Now we have come to turn 2, and as you can see, they've got 8,000 trauma on them. They have got a few attacks as well, but this should be easily enough to take out Maggie here, who has not got any mods. Well, she's got a weapon. She might have over 8,000 HP. I'm just going to rush Pete, and we're going to see if she tanks the hit from the trauma. I believe she does. Trauma comes in, there you see, and you saw the animation come up to show her specialist skill, and that is because it does tank trauma. She is one of the few characters that can take I think that was 24,000 damage on a trauma hit, and it did not take her out. She definitely doesn't have 24,000 HP. So the specialist skill now is actually pretty good here because it obviously combats trauma, and that is very effective. She is obviously going to be a little bit more tanky to take down. She is going to be sitting on 100% AP guaranteed turn 2 a lot of the time just because of the active AP to self. She could be commanded in that situation, but you might not run a command if you're going to run Maggie. Maggie's more of the tank that will rush while still giving out AP for turn 2 like blitz on defense teams. And this specialist skill does play into it quite well. It means she can't really get hard focused too easily because she's going to be constantly reducing incoming damage. Now, I did touch on it in the intro. She has got a default pistol. That means you can put whatever you want in her hands. You could put the absolute defense pistol. You could put a full stun gun in there. You could go for full stats. You don't necessarily have to build this character to go AP, and you want to build her for heavy stats. I wouldn't necessarily say you need to do that because she has got HP and defense really high already. So generally you're going to be pretty safe. You can get those stats up really high. If you know what you can get your trader to, Maggie can get to identical amounts of stats pretty much. The only difference is trader could double down on the stats on his pistol and get his HP and defense up. Whereas I think, like I say, Maggie's probably still better off rushing. But she will have that defense boost come in once she does. So you can maybe take that into consideration on where you're going to focus her stats, whether HP or defense. So overall, Maggie is an extremely interesting support character. I definitely get what they're trying to do here. They're trying to make her basically, you know, like a faux command where she's still doing a lot of the things a command can do. She's got the upsides that commands don't have, where she's going to be rushing turn 3. She has an extra effectively specialist skill, but she's got a downside where she cannot command turn 1 or outside of where her active's going to reset. I think she'd work in a team with a command extremely well, just in case those characters that do gain AP have already basic attacked first. You know, sometimes it can go like that, or they've been AP drained and they get their rush, but only because they did a basic attack. So the combos with this character in a Jesus defense team could be nice. You could have Jesus, Maggie, and Akira, and a lot of people are going to be focusing on Akira early on because he can be nasty and you want to get him out of the way as quickly as possible. And that's just going to leave Maggie to get her active off and just run riot in the back line. So potentially a character that's going to be very good. But she's definitely a character that's going to support characters you already have. If you get this character and you put her in a team with Kapoor, Glenn, and these characters, not much is going to happen there. She's going to be a character that's boosting characters that are already powerful. So if you already have a powerful defense team that she could slot into, they're going to get enhanced. And considering a severe lack of days that we have in the game, and the amount of characters that you actually have to get days off on with these first and second turn actives, something's going to get through. And Maggie being turn 2 might slip to the back of people's minds as they're focusing on the Jesus and the leader, and then the AP game goes off and it's GG. But that's Maggie. I know a lot of people have been kind of waiting for Maggie to get an S-Class edition. I think she visually looks great. I think she is a good character as well. She has the potential to be a very, very annoying support character on those defense teams. And now those teams where you would normally have a little bit of time to take down have gained speed. So this is where more of an issue is going to come in. But do give me your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you happy to see an actual Maggie come into the S-Class era? Are there any other characters that you've got your eyes on for the future? There are so many names that we haven't seen from the comics, but it does look like they are bringing them out thick and fast. We've had like the Dwights, now Maggies in the recent weeks, so some very well-known comic book characters. But if there's anyone that you think's still missing, leave your comments down below. Otherwise, some thoughts on Maggie would be great. That is going to be the end of my video though, guys. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.